Quirley, afternoon to you and Matt. Good win today at home to Stansfeld. How do you think the game unfolded?
It was a bit of a niggly game, really. Obviously, lost Ashton really early on in the game. It was a little bit stop-start. Had to make some changes at half-time again, with two people coming on, and done really well in the second half in terms of the changes. But you know, we got in some really good positions today, and I think just our final end product or decision in the end wasn't quite where it's been recently. But I said to the boys, it's a sign of a good side when you know you've got a clean sheet, you've won 2-0 at home, and I think everyone's disappointed today. I thought we lacked a little bit of a spark collectively today, which has been there in the last 7 or 8 games, to be honest with you. But I'm pleased ultimately at this stage of the season with the games in hand that we've got, the position we are in the league. We just need to pick up as many 3 points as we can, irrelevant of how we perform. So I'm pleased in that extent, but we're going to need to be much better moving forward if we're going to get to where we need to be at the end of the season.
Matt, I think it's fair to say since Corley's come onto the playing field from the dugout, our results have improved and our performances. What's your take on how things have gone in the last few weeks?
Yeah, I just felt, Corley wasn't at training on Thursday just due to incident at home, and I could even sense it in training that there was 1 or 2 players that weren't at it due to just the information that he passes on the pitch. And ultimately, we've got quite an inexperienced group, and I think the experience has told. There's no two ways about that. Obviously, the results have obviously proven that, and I think that he's certainly given players another sort of 10%. I think there's no grey area to the fact that Gerald's been his best since Corley's played next to him, and I think he would openly admit that himself. Just where he just talks and organises and makes people's decisions for them when people have been when you're putting, I think also when you're putting a new team together, it's not even just about age. It's a new team, it's a new goalkeeper, it's a new back four, new midfield, new front players. When you've got someone so experienced, as well as being the manager where he knows exactly what he wants it to look like, it's obviously very helpful. And then obviously from the sideline, you've also got a player on the pitch that if I need to get information into somebody, obviously it's just an obvious one to pass that over to Coyley so that he can relay that to the players, because you see the game differently from the side. So yeah, it's been a massive plus for us. Does he want to still be playing at 41? Probably not. If it was up to me, he'd play every week and he would have played at the start as well. But obviously he wants to be the manager and be on the side. So I think it's been definitely a positive for the group. And I think it's helped even like young Kai that's not in the squad at the moment. Just even looking at him today in the warm-up, he's doing certain things that you can see that he's learnt from watching Coyley play. And I think as much as you give information on the training ground, sometimes you can lead by example by actually doing it out there on the field yourself. And yeah, so I think it's been a positive for us, but there's got to come a point where he can not play and obviously concentrate on a coaching career.
Coyley, you've got on the score sheet today, a great finish, by the way, and we kept a clean sheet. So I think apart from the Faversham game the week before, that's been something that's been brought into the group when you've been playing is the clean sheet. So looking forward from where we are now, we've got a big game next week coming up in the Vars, and we've got a run of league games coming after that, obviously, that we need to get points on the ball from. How do you see the season going forward from this point on?
Well, obviously, starting at next week, we're struggling with regards to there's 3 players that have started today that can't play because they're cup tied. So the Vars has been it's been a little bit of a headache for us in terms of the changes we've had to make. We're forced into making, but it gives opportunities to the players that have been on the bench to come and state their claim and keep their shirts. And I think that's what's really helped. I think our whole squad now, we've got real healthy competition for places. Obviously, this is the first game that Macca's been available for 7 weeks. He got his red card 7 weeks ago now with games that have been cancelled. He's then was ill last week, so we need to get him up to speed because he needs to play next week. Obviously, with Will suspended, so it's been difficult, but fair play to the boys. They've been outstanding. The ones that we've called upon, and we have to change the team around, and that's the hardest thing. I said to the boys today, the hardest thing in management is to keep the squad happy. If you're starting the first 11, it's easy. Everyone's got a smile on their face, but we've got some real quality players now. Ronald, Jake McIntyre, that are on the bench that have been really, really. they've been frustrated, but their attitude's been unbelievable in terms of not being able to play, whether they're suspended or not quite been selected yet and got a start. And that's what you need. You know, that's worth 15, 20 points a season, that togetherness. So we've got that in the squad, and that's really important moving forward. So there'll be changes next week. We're forced upon changes, but I always see that as a positive. It's an opportunity for someone to come in and say, right, I want to be on the pitch for the next 6 or 7 weeks and keep my shirt. So, but ultimately, we need to improve our league position. We know that. We've had a ridiculously slow start, a poor start with the points that we've collected. But the signs are promising. You know, I'm really pleased that we've said it all along. We knew that it was going to take time. You don't just start with 4 players and all of a sudden you hit the ground running. It never works that way at any level. So, you know, the boys that have come in recently have made a big difference, and we're getting that belief. That's the biggest thing for us. You know, when you've had a poor start, is just believing in each other, believing in the group, and what we're trying to do to bring to the club. And they've all bought into that, and there's some real promising signs that we'll have a strong finish to the season.
And Matt, as just been mentioned there, a bit of consistency coming recently. Home form has improved dramatically, but we have this challenge next week in the Vars. We're taking some fantastic support up there next week, so you know, looking ahead, that's got to be a game we're really looking forward to.
Yeah, look, it's a great opportunity to be involved in a great competition with a real opportunity of getting through to the next round. I think the support last week at Faversham, I said it in the interview after the game last week, was just unbelievably good. I know Coyley touched on it this week as well in training, and I think the players have got to recognise that as well. And we've got a good support base going up to the game next week. We're going to end up with probably over 100 people in their ground. We'll probably have more support than they will in their home ground. We can turn it into a home game. And I think, like I say, these are the times that we want to bring to the football club, and obviously the players want to be involved in, the staff want to be involved in, and we've got a great opportunity to go and do so. And like Coyley said, we've had to manage the group according to obviously these games, because if you pick up injuries and suspensions along the way with the players that can play in the Vars, obviously then we've got even less players available. So we've had to manage that, and the players have been fantastic in that sense. And we've got a clear week on the training ground now. We've got Christmas out of the way, we've got New Year out of the way, we've got no midweek games this week. The 23s aren't playing at home, so they're away on Wednesday. So we can get 2 good nights on the training ground. We've got a lot of information on them, so we'll do plenty of work on it this week. And we go into it. Yes, we've got 1 or 2 players unavailable, but if you're a player and you're going to be absolutely buzzing to be involved in next Saturday's game. So I think that's important for us. I said it in the week to the boys, is that we need to all be together now, from the support, fan base, the club itself, obviously from board level through to management to the players. The only way for us to be successful is that we're all on the same page and we're all doing it together. And I feel like there's a real connection with the players and the fans now. I think they're starting to get there. They've got songs for certain individuals, but that takes time. So, I think, yeah, like I say, we're on an upward curve. Last week was frustrating, but like I say, today was important to bounce back with a win, which we've done. And now we've got a good week on the training ground leading into what's another exciting game.
Brilliant, gents. Thanks very much for your time. All the best for next week, and we look forward to a good game. Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks very much.